So for those who have stepped into this, so we've just started on the taro sago pudding. It's going to be turned to sweet potato because it's easier in lockdown to find sweet potato than taro. So I'm glad that Betty did not go out of her postcode because she would get into a lot of trouble just to get taro for us today. But sweet potato is a wonderful alternative, and that's easily found in the shops that's nearby. So a few tips about what I did was I did a little look into what Vietnam means. And Vietnam is a people group called Viet, and Nam would just literally mean the South. A few interesting notes about Vietnam and their culture is that they believe that they, and I'm sure they are, that their people group have descended from dragons and fairies. So that's a little bit of a little story behind Vietnam, and something that you can know. But Vietnam has been so popularized in terms of our cuisine for the different foods that we can now enjoy, like the pho, which is a beef noodle soup, and the egg coffee, which you see as a highlight. And we would also want to show you, I would want to bring to you the Around Asia cookbook, where we feature Vietnam as well. And today is a really special time because what we have noticed is that the Southeast Asian cuisines have a similar thread through it. And so different Southeast Asian countries, like myself from Malaysia, we have recipes that are similar. So over back to you, Betty.
Thank you. So after blending, we get a nice smooth sweet potato soup base. And then in go 400 grams of milk that I have pre-measured. And then 200 grams of coconut cream. I did see while I was blending, someone asked if there's much sugar in this. Definitely 150 grams of sugar, which isn't much when you consider how much sweet soup we are making. And it's really not that sweet. It's actually quite a nice dessert. And then we put on the lid and give it another 10 seconds.
Yes, the recipes will come up to you later, and it will be sent in the email as well, along with the recording.
And you have this really pretty looking sweet potato soup base. And then the recipe would call for you to clean the jug out. I do have the luxury of a second jug, so that will save me from washing out.
Betty, can we just ask you for the name of this recipe again, just so everyone's clear? We know the recipes are going to go out, but just while people are waiting, they might like to look it up while they're watching.
Sure, it's a taro tapioca sweet soup. But I didn't want to use taro because I couldn't get my hands on it, and I do prefer the taste of sweet potato, so I've made it into a sweet potato tapioca soup. I guess it's one of the beauty of the TM that you could change the recipe over to want to use, and you're not really restricted by what you have to make.
Yeah. So do you think we could use less sugar if we were using the sweet potato? Did you cut down the sugar?
Didn't. I made a batch last night to try it out, and I really liked it. I don't eat a lot of sweet myself, and 150 grams for close to about 2 liters of soup base, it really isn't much. And there is sugar in the taro and the sweet potato to keep it quite sweet. So I think it's a really good recipe. The only tweak in this recipe, which I will probably tell you guys now, it's the cooking of the tapioca. So the recipe wants 1.5 liters of water, but just to speed the process up, I have used some semi-cooked hot water for this. so it does cook a little bit faster. Tapioca pearls are these little ones. It's not the big bubble tea ones. It's these tiny white ones. You could either get from, I think you can still get them from some Coles and Woolworths. It used to be in my local Coles, but then they stopped stocking it. So I have to go to the Asian grocery to get this. So get tapioca pearls. And I've pre-weighted out 200 grams of it. Pop it in. Let it do its thing. The recipe only it's 15 minutes, and you can. The beauty of cooking tapioca pearls in the TM is that they come out perfect. They are like individual pearls. They are not all gluey or stuck together or not cooked through. I've pre-cooked this earlier so I could show you guys what the finished sweet soup would look like. The trick with cooking tapioca pearls is that at the end of the cooking, just put a chopstick or a fork through your jug and stir it to make sure that everything looks clear. If it's still slightly white, you can give it a couple more minutes to cook to make sure that it's all cooked through. If the tapioca is not cooked, you'll see a tiny dot in there. So give it 2 more minutes if it's not fully cooked. So to put it together, I'll just simply add the tapioca pearls that's cooked, and I've rinsed in some cold water just to cool it down so it doesn't become all soggy. And you can pop it into the soup.
What I love about this dessert is that it's gluten-free. It's so healthy. You can minus off any sugar as much as you want, and you have something that is really digestible, even perfect for a child. And that's one of the desserts that is very popular in all of Southeast Asia, especially Vietnam. So there you have it, the beautiful pearls, sweet potato. So again, this is a very, very traditional dessert. So bear in mind that this is Vietnamese dessert, and it's so beautiful. It's in most Southeast Asian countries, you would have this dessert in various shade and different styles as well. Sometimes we put cooked bananas in there. We could put what else can we put there? Chestnuts. The Thais would have that with beautiful corn. So there's a lot of variations that you can have with this beautiful dessert. Yes, I can see that it's mentioned that a lemon infused oil. That's a very interesting take. That's
if
right.
taro was used, it will be purple. It will look quite pretty. And I've seen plain just coconut ones, which is very popular in Thailand as well.
A crackling sound.
Hello.
So, okay, we'll just, thank you so much, Betty. Now over to you, Sharon, for your turmeric rice.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hi. So I'm making a turmeric rice. And what I did was I put my basket on top, weigh my rice in, and make sure I wash it clean till it runs clear. So now I'm going to put this aside. And what I will do is, I'm going to weigh in some turmeric, fresh turmeric. You can use powdered turmeric. I'll just put that in. About 5-6 grams is fine for 200 grams of rice. And what I do is this is manual, so just go to the to your speed button here and turn it to speed 5 to 7 between that. And once that's done, I just release that. It should be 2-3 seconds only. Now, because I had water in it, it didn't really blend too well from the rice. So that's gone down. And what I'll do is I'm going to go to the rice cooker mode dish. Jasmine rice. I selected jasmine rice because that's what I'm using. And I go to start cook. Oh, sorry. Before I start that, I have to do my apologies. I go to scales. I'll put in 200 grams of water, coconut water. Just scraping down all that turmeric that's on the side. Doesn't matter that it's not chopped up too well because we will blend it later and it will cook with the rice. And what I'll do is from here, I go to the kettle mode and boil the water up. And while that will take about a few minutes. And just to show you what the rice would look like at a later stage, it will be this beautiful yellow color. And once it's done, what we want to do is we want to add some coconut oil into it to give it that nice glisten and give it that coconut flavor.
Here's a tip. If anyone has turmeric, we noticed that there was turmeric on your lid. Do you know,
Yes.
One tip to clear the turmeric stain from your lid? Sharon, do you want to share that?
Yeah, so if you have turmeric stains on your lid or even in your measuring cup, what you want to do is put it out in the sun, and over a period of time that sun will fade, that yellowness on the lid or MC will fade. So mine is pretty bright yellow because of the turmeric. This is my third batch of turmeric rice I'm making.
So you reckon that just a few hours out in the sun, not that we're having sun right now, but when it's a sunny day, just sun it out and it'll come right off.
Yeah, it just depends on how much staining there is. So if I usually make curry, so curry is at least a few hours.
Yes. And turmeric is one of the greatest things to have in your diet because it is very good for your heart. It's good for your joints. It's coupled with pepper. It's a really good anti-inflammatory kind of the ingredient itself is really good for your joints. So it's something that is good to have in your diet as well. And one of the ways to do it is to make this turmeric rice.
Yes. Just to let you know, turmeric really needs some fat to activate. That's why it works well in curries. In this case, you can boil the rice together with the coconut oil, but I'm just putting it at the last minute, and that helps activate the turmeric for it to work.
Okay.
So it's nearly 100. So it's hit 100 now. So it'll be finishing soon. And then what I do next, I usually just blitz it so to make sure that the turmeric is smaller in pieces because I don't want the big chunks of turmeric in the rice. Just want it a little bit more fine.
You can grow your turmeric in your own garden, and I would encourage everyone to do that now, especially lockdown. You can grow your turmeric out from buying just a regular turmeric, and if it sprouts just like ginger, you can plant it in the ground.
Yeah. So just to let everyone see, not sure if you can see that. That's pretty yellow. That will transfer onto the rice. So I put my rice in.
How much of rice is there?
I'm just doing 200 grams because I've got a lot of turmeric rice ready. So 200 grams, and I'm going to add some water to it. Not water. Sorry, I'm going to add coconut water to it because this is a Vietnamese turmeric rice. You have to forgive me because the Vietnamese style is quite different from the style I usually make. So we don't put coconut water in, but I have to say that coconut water just is really beautiful. And I'm just going to stir that around in the...
Sharon, we have a quick question.
Yeah.
Lavina's wondering if it's possible to use coconut milk or coconut cream instead of the coconut water.
Coconut milk will lean towards like a Malaysian style turmeric rice. That's why I keep making the mistake, because Malaysian style, we have coconut milk in it and we cook it with peppercorns to give it that little bit of a spicy bite to it, a slight one, and with turmeric. So it's a slightly different style. So with the Vietnamese style, it is with coconut water. You can buy coconut water anywhere. In most supermarkets, it's just a normal coconut water.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going back to that the jasmine rice cooker mode, and it says 200 to 400, so you can do up to 400 for a bigger portion. And here I'm adding additional water. So rule of thumb is I treat this like how I would treat my rice cooker, the traditional rice cooker. So what we do is we measure to the top of our first index finger, yeah, that line, and that's how much water it should be above the rice for it to cook properly. Otherwise, if you've ever had those crunchy bits, it's because there's not enough water. And for 200 grams, it should be around 300 additional water in here. Otherwise, it'd be a little bit slushy, but the rice will continue absorbing it. And it says to put in the oil, but I prefer to put it after. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. So I've got my salt, I'm throwing that in, and that's to give the rice flavor. And then use your simmering basket on top and start cooking. Okay, but I'm going to transfer to the other cooker to cook, and I'll show you what has to be done. Can someone take over while I do that, and then come back with how to finish off the turmeric rice?
Would you like to start with your lemongrass pork strips?
Yes, it's my turn now. The lemongrass pork strip, actually gonna use the high temp function only having in the TM6. We're gonna need like the pork strip, which is I have already pre-marinated with some pepper. That's it. And then we're gonna use some garlic, onion in my, as I usually do, and then lemongrass, which is the most important. And also because we are the Vietnamese, so we're gonna use the fish sauce, a little bit of the light soy sauce, and a little bit of the dark soy sauce, so making the color to be look better. That's all. Let's start cooking. Yeah, please have a look at my TM6. Yep. This is the start with the pre-mixing the pork shoulder with the pork with the salt and pepper. But after trying this, I saw that I skipped the salt, because later when you add the light soy sauce and the fish sauce, it's gonna making it good enough. Now let's start with the cooking. Here's the cooking oil. $20 grams of the cooking oil. You can use whatever type you like. The garlic clove, which is I have already smashed it. You can smash the garlic clove in batch for use whenever you cook, so you don't have to do it every time. And then the lemongrass. Because I personally like some onion, and the shallot actually go well with the pork, so I normally put some of the onion in it. And then it's gonna serve for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. During that time, I'm gonna show you what kind of the fish sauce that we Vietnamese prefer. And there's a lot of the kind of fish sauce out there. And here's the brands that I try, I test, and I like it. And all of it, its first thing is gluten-free. It's no MSG, and it's no preservative. All that 3 brand. The Mega Chef one with the gold cap, the Squid brand one, golden cap as well, and then the Red Boat. Among these 3, the Red Boat is a little bit saltier than the other 2. Maybe because these 2 brand is more Thai, so they have some sugar on it. So it depends on your taste. You can choose the one you like. But the most important thing is that all of this has no preservative and use the traditional fermentation process. So it takes at least 12 months to 24 months for ferment the fish sauce. So I think it's a really good one. We have 1 more minute before I can put the pork strip into it. Now I'm going to talk a bit about the pork strip. Here I use 2 types of the pork. One is pork loin and the other is pork cheek. It depends on what you like. You can choose the type you like. I prefer the pork cheek because it has the type of like the maple with the fatty, a little bit fat, a little bit of the lean, while the pork loin is lean only. It depends on your taste, you can choose it. You can go to any Asian butcher and you can ask for the pork cheek. They're gonna sell it for you. Here, I'm gonna show you the pork cheek. It's a little bit different. Now, for the cutting of the pork, you're gonna need to make sure that you cut it perpendicular to cut the muscle, so you don't have to too chewy pork later when it's finished. Can you help me? Okay. And I need 300 grams of the pork already mixed with some pepper. Now we're gonna use the high temp function.
Splash guard.
Here's the splash guard. The high temp function is using very high temperature, like the open flame cooking like Chinese. So I'm gonna turn it back to you, Tina.
Okay, is Sharon ready?
I think Anne should introduce her gorgeous little helper that she has with her today. How lovely to have someone in the kitchen helping you.
Sure. This is Vicky,
Hello.
my little one,
Hi.
9 years old. And she's gonna show you how to roll spring roll later.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait for that.
She's our guest star.
Yeah, absolutely. Apron and all, love it.
Yes.
Okay, heading over to Sharon.
Sharon, you want to unmute?
Hi. So I still have the rice cooking in the other side, but what I'll do is I'll start with the shrimp paste. I'm going with the shrimp. I'm sorry, I have to finish this. So. So this is a Chinese recipe, and we use this for hot pot. Oh, actually, I'll come back to the rice because it's just heated up.
As we mentioned, the recipes that we are featuring today, again, there's a lot of similarities with Southeast Asian cuisine, and that's why we find these recipes on Cookie because we have Cookie China, Cookie Taiwan at our disposal, at our disposal, and we can use that to show you how we can make Vietnamese cuisine.
So just quickly, once the rice is done, you put it in your thermos server, and I'm just putting that rice, the coconut oil in, and what happens is, can you see that's glistening, starting to glisten?
We can, not quite as good as you can see it, but we can see what's happening.
Yeah. So once the oil gets into it, it gives the rice a bit of a glisten. And I'll take a photo after this so that you can see.
The smell must be amazing there, Joe, though.
Yes, turmeric has a very earthy flavor smell. And that coconut in there, that oil, it's really good. And that's all you do. Just make sure you use a bigger spoon so that it helps fluff it up. A thin spoon will just make it more starchier too. Okay. Okay. And not sure. Are you able to see that? It's slightly on the shiny side.
Not
Can you
quite.
see?
Oh, yes, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. All right. So that's my turmeric rice. And now I'm just going to do the prawn paste. So prawn paste, I've got some frozen, this is optional. You can use pork fat if you want. And what does that do is it just helps with the flavoring. So what I do is I tap, there's 3 dots up here. I'm tapping and calling for the scales up because this is one extra step from the original recipe. Mind you, I can't read Chinese, so I had to translate everything and put it aside. And I'm going to put about 25 grams of pork fat. It's a little bit more.
Can we just check? So you're making a prawn paste right now?
Yeah, this is a prawn paste. So to start the prawn paste, I put in some frozen pork fat in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blitz it just to make it smaller. It's already cut down small, but not enough.
We have another question for you. If you didn't have fresh turmeric, do you think you could use powdered turmeric for the rice?
Absolutely. So you use less, about a quarter, 1/8 of a teaspoon of dried turmeric. That's what I read. Yeah, but in proportion to how much you're using. So between 1/8 to a quarter teaspoon should be enough. And you want to boil it first, okay? Like how I did. Because if you don't do that, the turmeric, especially dried turmeric, it will have like a very raw kind of taste in it. But it will taste okay, but it's better to boil that water first. So now I have to add in my 500 grams of prawns, which I absolutely had to make sure that it's dried. So I put it in between some paper towels. And the reason why you want that to be dry is so that it's more gelatinous, so it sticks to each other. It sticks better. Oh, sorry. I didn't zero tar it. So it takes about 1 kilo of prawns to get 500 grams of flesh, okay? Because by the time you deheat it and you take away the what you call it, the veins and there's a lot of sand in it, so you must remove that. You can see because it's a bit dry, it's a bit sticky. And you can use banana prawns, but this was on special today at Harris Farms for $20 a kilo. So that's why I got it. And go next. I'm sure that's the egg. And you're supposed to add in Chinese cooking wine and the fish sauce. And then we're going to blend it for 30 seconds. And it's on reverse.
I believe the prawns are raw. And what could be replaced, Sharon, for the pork fat? Can you hear me? Oh,
Asking me, I can't hear you. Sorry, did you ask a question?
yes, there was a question in the chat about replacing the pork fat.
You don't have to, you can omit it. So I like to have a little bit because it goes into the prawn meat and it just gives it a bit, when you're frying it, it just gives it a bit of a flavor, that's all. And it's very mild flavor, you don't really taste it. It just makes a bit of a difference in how it fries up or cooks up, okay? So you can omit it. Anne doesn't use any pork fat in it. Okay. So here I have 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of white pepper, not black pepper, but white pepper, and a tablespoon of cornstarch. And the cornstarch and the egg will help bind it. The cornstarch will also help make the prawn paste go rise a little bit. And then again, we will for 15 seconds just to knead all that in.
Now it's my turn. My pork strip has already done with the high temp function. It's gonna ask me to transfer it into a bowl and set aside to prepare the mix. But because I have the luxury of having 2 bowls at the same time, so I don't have to clean the bowl, I just using my clean one to start with. I need 1 teaspoon of water. Lime soy sauce. Here, this one is the lime soy sauce. Fish sauce. That is 1 piece of fish sauce. And then the dark soy sauce. Why we need the dark soy sauce? Dark soy sauce gonna bring the nice color to the pork strip. Yep. And then the sugar. I normally use the icing sugar because I just use my Thermomix to mix to mincing it in advance. Now it's gonna make the sauce, and then we just mixing them two together.
Anne,
Gonna mix this.
what are you making now? The viewers are asking. Is this part of the lemongrass pork?
Yes, it's the part of the lemongrass pork.
Okay, thank you.
We've got somebody in the chat asking that if they were allergic to fish, could they leave that out and just add extra salt?
Absolutely, you can use the soya sauce for that, but at that, I think that it might be a little more Chinese than Vietnamese one, but it doesn't matter as long as you still enjoy the food, so it's all good.
Yes, thank you.
Like I'm gonna take out the pork strip. Yeah. And now I mix it with the sauce we just made.
That must smell so good right now.
And then mixing it a little bit. You can have it directly with rice, like the rice that Sharon made, or you can eat it with the rice noodle, like I'm gonna make it later with as the fresh spring roll. You can add some chili on top, and then some squeeze of the lamb. That's it.
That's so yum. You could just tuck into that.
Tina, you can start with your egg coffee.
So now it's me with the egg coffee. Hi, everyone. And egg coffee is one of the highlights of a coffee drink you can find in Vietnam itself, but we can do that in our Thermomix. What is good about the egg coffee is that if you want a frothy, flat white style of coffee, you can use that, and you don't have to have that. It'll be dairy free because we are going to be using egg yolks for that. So with that, I will bring you over to my week. So I've planned to make, and it's called Cafe Chung egg coffee. So it is available in your cookie dough. And all I need to do is start cooking. It shows you how to put your butterfly whisk, which I have ready. And then you place your egg yolks. So remember, this is a dairy-free dessert drink. I'm putting in 2 egg yolks this time because between all of us, and I'm having trouble with my honey, making it. It's winter time and my large honey decides to, freeze up. Okay, just a little bit of honey. And
We've got a little comment. Anthea's commented in the chat here. As consultants, some of us earned a wonderful trip to Vietnam year before last, and egg coffee was top of the list for everybody. We all enjoyed that. Little perks of being a consultant.
that's right. Well, if you can see now on my camera, it says 9 minutes, 37 degrees and speed 4. But because the whisk is in there, my top tip is to slowly, gradually go to speed 4. If you are unsure that the whisk is going to be secure in your Thermomix. So I just gradually brought it up to 2 and then brought it all the way to 4. And it's 8 minutes, 30 seconds. 37 degrees, and it's going to have a nice, beautiful foam, perfect for a dairy-free coffee. And literally, that's what Cafe Chung, if I say it correctly, is. So I'm going, that's it. So I will pass it over to Sharon right now, I think. Sharon, are you ready?
So that 15 seconds will make that into a paste, and it's a good amount. I think we made about 30 of the 30 sugarcane things, but you need to rest it in the fridge for 2 hours. So I'm just going to put on my gloves to show you how to do the So I've already prepped my sugar cane. This has been sitting, it's a different prawn. This was Tiger King prawn. Well, those ones there was from this morning. So, supposed to put some oil on your gloves first. Okay. So it doesn't stick to your gloves or hands, for that matter of fact. Just grab a bit, take a stick, and all you do is just wrap it around the stick. Okay. See, the oil makes it much easier to transfer it.
Sharon, somebody's asking in the chat, is the mix a little bit like the old school prawn toast?
Similar.
Yes.
It's okay. Prawn toast or Welsh rabbit, they used to call it. Very British.
Another way you can mix your prawns paste up, you can add some water chestnuts, or if you want a little bit of color, you can put some carrots. But this is going true to Vietnamese. It's pure prawn paste with a little bit of pork fat.
Because if you had the other ingredients in, because this is not Chinese, this is Vietnamese, the prawn paste will not stick onto the sugar cane. Okay, I'll come back and show you how to fry this.
Quick question for you, Sharon. Someone's just asking, is it really necessary to wrap it around the stick, or could you just do different shapes or sizes?
You can do different shapes and sizes. It will still give you the prawn, but that sugar cane will give it a little bit of the flavor. You can also do it with, instead of sugar cane, you can use lemongrass. So you can choose. You have alternatives.
Someone's asking, where do you get the sugar cane from and how do you prepare it?
My lovely friend got it for me. So it's a Thai tin and it's already all, it's pre-cooked. So you can see there are different sizes of sticks in there. On a smaller one, I would cut it small and big. I would cut it in half. This one, I would get about 6 pieces. And for the thicker one, I would get about 8. So you just basically slice it up until, and what you want is just that stick.
Yeah. Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, who are we going to now?
Anne, would you like to show how you wrap and bring your guest star to the...
Sure. Janine, do you mind pin my 2 screens so people can see, our customer can see from both sides? For make the spring roll, you're gonna need this one.
I'm just trying to find.
Otherwise, you can use this, swallow this to put some water on it. We just use the size of paper, rice paper, and then just put the water around. That is.
Sorry.
Put it on that one.
Sorry, I can't find your other screen at the moment. There's a lot of people on. I don't know why it's not at the beginning. It should have been at the beginning with.
No, it's all right. I think this one is okay. Janelle. We have this one specially for making the spring roll. You just put your spring roll into it and make it much easier for rolling. Now, after soaking some water on it, we start with put some lettuce, and then any kind of herb you want. We Vietnamese normally use that shisho, Vietnamese shisho, and then some perilla and some coriander. For my Vicky, she always want to use only some lettuce and cucumber, which is I cut into smaller stick so she can easily wrap it. Can you see Vicky to do it? Yep. And then we're gonna use some rice noodle. You can use any kind you want. But
I just have a question in the chat. So it was shiso, coriander, and was it perilla?
it's a bit different. I think Vietnamese shisho is a stronger taste. That's all. But otherwise, if you can have it, you can use whatever type of herb you like.
Okay.
Be flexible.
Yeah.
And then use some rice noodle. For the rice noodle, normally you soak it in the water for like 10 minutes and then put it to the boiling point and then turn off the heat and then soak it there for like 5 more minutes and then take, and it's done like this. Now I'm gonna put some of the pork strip lemongrass that I have already made. You can put some lemongrass if you like, and some chili into your spring roll. If you prefer the hot one. Yep, you roll it like this. One side and the other side. Take a roll. Do it like this. One roll. And then you can decoration with any kind of edible flower you want. Like this. And here it is.
Wow,
Vicky, can you show what you made?
they look gorgeous.
I love that.
Thank you.
Well done.
For eating with the fresh spring roll, we normally have the type of the chili dipping sauce. It's very simple. Just use the ratio of 1 fish sauce, 1 sugar, 1 lemon juice, and 3 water. Mix it all together until it's mixing well, and then add the garlic and chili, smash one as you want. That's all. Enjoy.
Okay, so maybe over to me. I have here the beautiful egg yolk foam, and I'm going to dish it out and pop it into my 2 types of coffee. One was made by my local cafe guy, Cassius. He heard about the egg coffee recipe that I was going to make, and he came over and gave me his espresso shot. And this here on the left is my good friend Nespresso. I'm sure many homes here would have a Nespresso at home, so you can also use that. So it depends on how you'd like it. You'll notice that the fresh Nespresso has that foam on it, whereas the espresso, because we had it a few hours ago, has lost a little bit of its lather, but it's also okay. We've made it hot again. And there you have it. give it a beautiful stir. And you have cafe chung. Look at that. Which one would you rather have? Cafe Cassius or Nespresso? Up to you. Cafe chung is a delight from Vietnam. Over to you. Gluten-free, dairy-free, and for you to enjoy. Okay, now over
Can
to
I mention, Tina?
Yes,
That
please.
is also it's a kind of like dessert after dinner. Even you don't have to have it in the morning.
Ah, okay.
Yep, the cafe chung. Yeah.
Thanks for that. Sharon, let's bring it home. I hope you're enjoying this. Remember, there are a lot of questions around the different recipes that we're doing, especially when we are lending from the different cookie dough sites and even the ones that need translations. So not to worry. The good thing about having the Google, having your cookie dough on your screen, on your laptop, you can Google translate that in English anytime. And you can use that to be able to get your recipes translated to the language that you know. So we are giving you the insight of how to find recipes from the rest of the cookie dough or from the world to make it Vietnamese. So your take is to be able to know that you can translate that into English, put your little splash of differences like the way Sharon did by putting her pork fat into her prawn paste, and then you can have your own little twist of your prawn paste. So there's so many things that you can do with cookie dough. And one of the ways is to make your cuisine to be Vietnamese. And in this way, these are the little secrets that you can find. Don't worry, the email will come with the recipes and the links for them, including the tips that you've heard today. So yes, back to you, Sharon. Thank you so much.
We asked Anne where she buys the discs from for the rice paper.
Yeah. Anne, is it possible to ask you where you buy the trays from, and also where the wrapper trays? That's what she's asking for. The ones that help you roll it. That
Yep.
All right, we'll come back. We'll ask Anne and we'll come back to you. So we'll just we'll stay with Sharon for just a moment. So fire away, Sharon. Sorry.
That's okay. So what I'll do is just put these in to fry. And while that's frying, what I'll do is I'll make the sauce, which is sugar. Oh, sorry. Do your chili and garlic first, because we want to chop it up first.
Sharon, what kind of oil are you using?
I'm using peanut oil here. Like you can use don't use olive oil. Use any non-flavored oil because olive oil leaves a little bit of flavor. Some people will use the Cobram's light flavored oil. But if you do use olive oil, make sure it is meant for frying, okay? There are different types out there. So just flick this up to about speed 5. So that's the sugar, garlic and sugar and chili in there. I'm gonna put the fish sauce in. And that's the whip of the chili, and put in a little bit of warm water in it. $75 ml. So just give it a bit of a stir and careful not to burn. Don't over burn them because you will get a bitter taste when it's burnt. So what you want is just a pale color coming through.
Sharon, is this dipping sauce on the email?
It will be sent on the email.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, chilies, definitely. So that's the sauce. So depending on how spicy you like it, you adjust accordingly.
Just to add about this with the sauce, you can actually use that as a salad as well. If you have make a big salad with cucumbers, with shredded chicken, chicken breast, you can put mint in there. You can put your washed bean sprouts. You can and when you've had the sauce, it's better if you had it soaking for a while, maybe an hour. And then you can macerate and the whole salad, and you'd have a beautiful Vietnamese salad to accompany your Vietnamese cuisine as well. So it's a very versatile dish to have.
For the sauce, make sure you don't forget the lemon juice, like I did. It needs to be a bit of sweetness, a little bit of tang, a bit of saltiness. So they look like little chicken drumsticks here.
You know, the little history behind how we actually got the recipes up today for you to watch. We've actually had a little conversation about all our different styles of Southeast Asian cuisine, Sharon, Betty, and Anne, and coming together with Anne's brains on her Vietnamese take on it. We realized that there are so many similarities, but we want to stay true to the course of being Vietnamese. And that's why we've kind of restrained ourselves in a lot of ways. So, you know, with Malaysian style, you put the coconut cream or the coconut milk in there, and there you have a different spin. And that's the beauty about Southeast Asia, because these paths are all well traveled, and the people in it have traveled to trade amongst each other. And all these recipes are lent over the years, hundreds of years. And you can see a snippet of the same variation, whether in Vietnam or Cambodia or Thailand, and it changes. Say if you go to Indonesia, you get a different take on the same dish, and a completely different result out of that. So it's a really amazing flavor that you can get to see all the different countries here represented, but staying true to the course of Vietnamese dish. This is what the flavor is, getting Anne's perspective on it, and that's what you're getting to see here today.
Okay. So to eat the prawn rolls, I'm just going to move this away first. Is it still cooling down? Now to eat the prawn, you actually remove it from the sugar cane, and you take a bit of a salad leaf or shisho leaf, which is the bigger ones, and you put a little bit of herbs with it. So like Anne explained earlier, so there'll be things like mint. This is spearmint. I've got some salad leaves here. So it makes it very healthy, and some coriander. You can pick and choose what your favorites are. But the mint really brings it out. And what I have here, all these condiments was actually all made in the Thermomix. So you can do your crispy echalotts in the Thermomix now because of the high heat function. So you put a little bit of that. You put a little bit of crushed peanuts. And I also have shallot oil. Shallot oil. And you just drizzle that shallot oil onto it. So this shallot oil is made from the spring onions, the tall green onions. Some people call it green onions. It's got a lot of caramelization in it when you do that high heat function with it. And you don't need the greens, you just need that oil to be drizzled on top of it. And you get to smell it. And that's how you eat it. Just roll and.
Oh my goodness, that looks so amazing. If I could, I'd be whipping over to your house to grab a couple of those. They look incredible.
I'll make one for my friend here. She's like looking at me. She's stuck with me because of the COVID, poor thing.
Lavina says we're all salivating here. That's exactly right. That just looks beautiful. And the shallot oil, that's something I haven't heard of before, and I love the sound of that. So is that a recipe we might be able to get the link for as well, please?
Yes, it's all on Cookie Do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the shallot oil is part of a collection called High Temp Asian Cooking. So it's a new collection coming from Cookie Do Malaysia and Singapore. So take a look into Cookie Do Malaysia and find that high heat for Asian cooking. So, but I've already put the shallot oil in there as well. So, okay, now it's the highlights. I've drunk my highlights. Cafe Trong is a really good one. Presenting, do you want to present, Anne? Show us your dishes.
Don't forget to put the
That looks
tasty. And the shorter version of the prawn paste is that instead of putting it on into the sugar cane, which is require a lot of hard work and crafty hand, you can always spread the prawn paste into this varoma dish, put it on varoma, steaming it, and then cut it and fry it later. It's the shorter version and lazy version from mine.
good tip there.
That looks so amazing, Anne. Thank you. That really just looks so delightful. I'm absolutely starving right now. Okay, who are we going to now?
Betty?
Back to Betty. That lovely sweet soup, that's something very different.
It's quite nice. My oldest just came and had a bowl while you guys were making the other food, and yeah, he's eaten and it's gone already. So yeah, easy to make, not too sweet, and a really healthy dessert.
Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, Sharon. It's so delightful that we can bring a little bit of Vietnam, and of course, we're still a lot of us who are not Vietnamese here, as Asians, who are in this presenting. You can in this presentation, you can see us just trying to rein our other ideas in, because we have our own ideas of how it looks like, because we're from Southeast Asia. But we have tried to stay on the course, giving you Vietnamese in its best. And I'm truly surprised. Cafe Trong is really delightful. And for the dishes that you will see today, you will also find in an email along with the recording. so that you can be able to watch it again to refresh yourself. But remember, it is the things like the things that you may not be able to get now, especially with lockdown, like the sugarcane sticks. It's okay. You can revisit and make it into a steamed up version, just like the way Ann did it. And there's so many different ways you can also make it happen. So hope you enjoy, give it a go, try a different cuisine, try the taro and sago dessert. You'll be surprised how wonderful it is. And it's so warming in this season now. So it's thank you so much for spending a little time with us. And we hope you enjoyed yourself and that you will take the plunge and go to Vietnam with your kitchen, with your Thermomix. So thanks everyone for watching. We hope you enjoyed yourself. Thank you. And stay on if you have any questions now. We would want to show you, Ann's wants to show you the different sources again, if you want. So this is the secrets coming out now. Over to you.
Yep. You still not sure about the dipping sauce? You can make it as you want. Put it in a bottle, making like 1 sugar, 1 part of the fish sauce, and then 1 part of the vinegar instead of lemon juice, and then mix it all well. You can add some chili if you want, but I suggest leaving the lemon juice and the garlic out. Just put it right before you have it, because otherwise the garlic gonna change the color a bit, so it's not very nice to looking. That's all. And then you can put it in the fridge for like 6 months. That's all. Thank you.
Happen to have your dark soy sauce?
Sorry, I did not use the dark soy sauce with the dipping sauce at all.
Oh, no, for your, how does dark soy sauce, which brand of dark soy sauce did you use?
Okay, just a moment. I'm gonna take it out for you to have a look. Here's the brand.
Thanks for that. Okay, thank you. Is there any questions that anyone would like to have answered by the experts out here today? Please, you can get off mute and just ask your questions or write in the chat.
How many people?
Lots and lots of thank yous, ladies. Appreciating all the tips. Great presentation. All looks amazing. Very inspiring. Great class. Great tips. Looks fantastic. Stay safe. Very informative and yummy workshop. So lots of beautiful comments there.
Yeah, you can use the white vinegar, or if you like the taste of the apple cider, you still can use it. Up to you.
Thanks, Nikki. Is your name Nikki?
Yeah, it's Vicky.
Thanks, Nikki, for being
Thank
such
you,
a
Tina.
Thanks for showing us the secret of how to roll your rice paper rolls. And are these flowers from your garden? Oh,
It's
Sharon.
all from the garden and the herb from garden.
Turmeric. Wow, Sharon, I wouldn't mind being locked down in your house right now.